Hello, I'm Dani. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Today we're talking about the books that I'm going to keep from my grandmother collection. She passed away longer than a month ago. I get to keep her books, but some I will give away because I'm not interested into them or don't care too much about them. I'm sitting on my floor because I have many books to talk about. I have my PC here so I can check which ones have been translated. I think most of them, or a good amount. Some will be um, only in Italian. I apologize, but of course, I will explain something about this. Anyway, I have no makeup on. I just washed my entire body, hair included, and I had to dust these books off right after because I didn't thought about that. And so I didn't care about putting my makeup on. Don't judge me. I know you won't actually. So let's start with their first book, which is Hurt by Edmondo de Amicis. This book she owns two copies of because this one was the original copy she bought in 1964, saving up by not buying food to bring at school. This was my grandmother. And the other copy is more recent because I bought a new one for her when I was at the university, when I was like studying at university. And I bought this to her because this is falling apart. So we're keeping these. We have kept this actually for how to say that because we loved it because it's well loved. It has been read many times by four people, included me. So I'm of course keeping these two books. This book is about the I would love to say the right word. Italy wasn't the country it is now. It was made by different countries, reigns. Um, yeah, it was like five parts at the time. By the time of the unification, when when all the states basically um, got together and became one, it was 1961, 8061. I'm sorry, and this book was written a bit as propaganda to make sure that everyone was like feeling Italian because and up until that moment it was different population from different states. So this book is a classic of children literature and it's mainly about like this classroom with these two teachers, if I'm not mistaken, that also tell stories to the kids and try to raise them as Italians, basically. It's a good book. I always recommend it because I read it when I was like 7 and 10, if I'm not mistaken, and I really liked it. Although it was a bit heavy to read as a young child, but it's okay. Then I have this book, which is in Italian Le ragazze di Cavour by Roberta Gately. This is an American book. Wait a second. It's Lipstick in Afghanistan. This is the real title, the original title. I've read this one. It's a good book about the war in Afghanistan and how women are also part of the war. And it's sadly very, very contemporary, I would say. I really liked it, honestly, and I'm gonna keep it because maybe I'll read it again. Then I have The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. I never read a book by Donna Tartt. Grandma read this. She wasn't the biggest fan of it, but she liked it. It took her a long time to read it. I remember this thing vividly. I don't even know what it's about. I'd love to read. Um, and I don't remember the title of the other book. I don't think it's the Goldfinch, or maybe it is. I don't. Maybe it is. No, it was the other book that I'd love to read by Donna Tartt. But anyway, I have this. I'm probably gonna start by this. I don't know what it's about. This is so fun. It's going to be like the main topic of this video. Uh, so it's the story of this 12 years old girl called Ariette, and this summer she decided to discover with her friend Haley who killed her brother Robin, who has been who uh, who has been found dead by Engin, basically, when she was a newborn. So this is like mystery book, definitely a mystery book that take place into Mississippi. So the area the author is from, I don't know. Let's see. We'll see. It's a huge book. Yeah. Okay. This is true story. Uh, it's by Richard Picciotto, written with Daniel Peisner, and this is a book about 9/11. 9/11. Yes. The real the original title is, if I find it, Last Man Down, a firefighter story of survival and escape from the World Trade Center. I actually remember starting this book, well, actually, like starting first chapter, and I know it will bring me a lot of anxiety, but I really like true story and non-fiction books. So I have never read anything about 9/11 because I was very young when it happened. I was like 4 years old, and also is something like, I don't know. It's something that is not part of our history, so can be a bit challenging to know about. You know. Then I have a few Italian books that I don't know if have been translated. This is La Culla di Giuda by Aminata Fofana. I remember my grandmother loving this book and recommending this book to me. But to be quite honest, I just know it's about a woman that got she got abused, if I'm not mistaken. It takes place between Australia and Italy. Let's check if this has been translated. As you can see in some of the books, Grandma left a bookmark because she used to read them, and sometimes she wanted to reread them, and so she started them and then like put it on pause and left the bookmark there. Let's see. Wow, it's not even on Goodreads. So no, I don't think it has been translated. Sadly, I'm scared same thing goes for these two books by Tiziana Silvestrin. One is Le righe nere della vendetta and the other one is I leoni d'Europa. I think they're both um, historical novels. I'm not sure. I'm kind of sure about I leoni d'Europa. Yes, it takes place in Mantua, which is city I do know pretty well because I do work around it. The other two, I think they're related somehow. I don't know if like you have to read them like in order, or they just take place in the same town. Um, this is an Italian writer. I think she's a local writer, so she's from Mantua. And I remember when my grandmother bought these two books, we also bought The Elf by Catherine Stockett that I have on my shelves, and I loved that book. And we bought few other books that time because she ordered these because are also from a small publisher, so she had to order them, and it was such a great moment because I think that was the second time in my entire existence, and has been the last one for a good while, that we spent a lot of money at the bookstore. It was a huge thing for us because I'm not coming from a rich family. Okay, so that was such a great moment. Then I have La notte l'attesa by Salvatore Adamo. He is an Italian singer, and his main song, his most famous song, is actually La notte, the night. Um, this is a no, this is a novel. I think she liked it. I remember she liked it. I think it's a sort of like contemporary story. I don't know much about this. Okay. And it should be about this man who was born like abroad but actually lived here in Italy, which I think is the same story of Salvatore Adamo. Like, he was actually born in another country but then became famous here in Italy. She bought this book, but I don't remember much about it. Then I have one of her favorite books. This is Da parte della principessa morta by Kenize Murad. So let's see if it has okay, it has a French title because it takes place, if I'm not mistaken, in Tunisia. Um, the French title is De la part de la princesse morte. I'm checking if there's an English translation. Let's see. I can see 5 edition. Regards from the Dead Princess, yes, by Little Brown and Company. Yes, it's a translation. I know this book is about this princess that. Let's see if I can find the plot in English so it's easier. um, it's about this princess which is very rich and lives what could be like a great life, but sadly, not everything that shines is gold. I don't know if this is the right translation of this way of saying stuff. No, there's not the plot in English. Oh no, it's so sad. Well, anyway, actually, I'm seeing he has been translated in many languages. Also, the title for the UK edition is Farewell Princess, but there's no plot in English. Whatever. Anyway, this is sort of story like um, this princess, which yes, she comes from a rich family. She's a princess, but her life is very sad. And my grandmother has read this book, I think, at least 5 times. At least. Okay. She used to love this. She used to love this. I remember she recommended to me, but I've never read it also because like it was one of her favorite books. So I was a bit like terrified I would have been disappointed from it by it. Sorry. I have many books. I have one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 books by Giorgio Faletti, which was a huge Italian writer. He used to write mystery books. I think the first one and the most famous is Io Uccido. I'm pretty sure this has been translated um, by English publisher. Let me see. I think I think they did it. He was also like not just a writer but also a journalist, if I'm not mistaken. Um, this book was the first one. Yes, I Kill. Um, they kept the same title. It's about a detective and an FBI agent that have to uh, track down this enigmatic killer. And so these are all thrillers. This book takes place in Monte Carlo. Um, I have other books by him. I have never read anything by him. This is so funny. But my grandmother was a huge fan of them. So I'm going to give him a possibility. I like thrillers. So he was super famous when he first came out with these books. I don't know if they're related somehow, like they have the same characters or something, but they are 7. I think he actually wrote like 9. He passed away at the age of like 56. He was super young still because, like, here in Italy, we get to live farther from the 80s, like, get to live also as 90s, and well, we get very old very easily. The point is, not my grandmother, sadly. So I have all her books. Then I have few books that are mostly Italian that haven't been translated except for a few because are not Italian. But I will show you these books anyway. The first one is by an Italian singer, which is called Iva Zanicchi. The book is Nata di Luna Buona, and it's her autobiography. I remember my grandmother like saw on TV that she got this autobiography out, so she was like, "Can we order it?" And we did, and she read it in like 3 days, or not even 3 days. My grandmother wasn't like a fast reader. She sadly only finished elementary school, but then had to work to help her family. She was an avid reader, actually. And in the last few years, we got to read a lot of books together. She was a huge fan of cryptographs. So, like those sort of Warcross, are they called like that? Those games you have to fill in every part with a letter that is related to the number that it's like the code. I'm not very good at explaining anything today. Well, not that I am the other days, but still. Uh, each number has a letter related to it, so each um, quadrant has each space has a number, so you have to fill the space with the letter that corresponds to the number. Okay, now we're in. I'm sorry. Yes, she was a huge fan of those, and still have a lot of magazines filled with that game because that was her favorite. And now I don't play those games. I like puzzles. I like to find the words. We call them puzzle, but I don't think it's the right name for this game because we have to find the words and the letters that remains, like form solve the like riddle somehow. Those are my favorite. So I see. Let's see what I do with those. I have a Gabriel Garcia Marquez book that she got from her older sister that sadly passed away a few months ago too. This is Vivere per raccontarla. Let me see the English title. We used to have also. Living to Tell the Story, basically. I think it's the title. Let me see. Living to Tell the Tale. Uh, this is like the autobiography by the author. I know we had his most famous book too, which was 100 Years of Solitude, but I don't know how it went, where it went with the moving, because when we moved here, we have lost many books. I've lost all my books from my childhood, and grandma lost, I think, at least 10 books. Uh, this is my advice to you: never let your relatives help you move in. Anyway, I remember she read this and she liked it. I remember also her saying that she didn't like 100 Year of Solitude. 100 Years of Solitude, I'm sorry. She didn't like that too much, but whatever, we'll see. I have a book from the Davy Crockett series. Also, this one, she wrote her name with the pen. Also, my uncle wrote his name on this. Um, this wasn't the first one. There isn't. Oh my god, where's the English title? There's no English title. No. Incredible. Well, anyway, Davy Crockett was a series by D. Blackmore. This wasn't the first volume, but she bought only this one, which was a huge book to be a book for a 10-year-old girl. Um, I've never read it because it takes place, I think, in the Far West. Not really my thing, but I will keep it as a memory. Then I have a book about Odoardo Focherini, which was a man from my hometown, so you can, by searching it, know where I'm from, who saved many Jewish people from the Holocaust, basically by only um, like making fake documents and trying to save them with the help of other people. He sadly died, I think, in Auschwitz, if I'm not mistaken, because at some point somebody, I think, snitched to him. Let me see. Well, I don't remember anymore, but it was. I've read this book, of course. To me, he's um, a sort of idol because he did so much and put his own life on risk to save other people, because he couldn't, like, he literally said in a letter that is in this collection, that he couldn't like afford to let people uh, be killed, to not help people, because it would have hurt him. And I think there are so many stories like his, and we should keep them very we should keep these stories on a spot, under the spotlight, because we have to remember that it's only with humanity that we can survive through these really tough times that we're going through again. Another book about Auschwitz was written by Danilo Sacchi. He used to live same town. He used to live in front of the camp that we had in this town. um, People technically were stuffed, basically, like they were like objects in this camp. So they were moved to Auschwitz most of the times. But let's say some people died in this camp too. And we have a great museum. If you want to come here to Carpi from wherever you are, it's very, very interesting, and it's amazing. I always go anytime I can to this museum because to me it's very important to keep history alive, okay, to keep remembering. Okay, so I love books about um, like real stories, real um, witnesses, and I've read this book too, of course. I also when I was younger, I was like, I don't know, 11. I wrote a letter to this author with my mom, and he had his son answering us back, and like telling us that he was very grateful that such a young girl like me was reading his book because it was like the most important thing to keep memory alive, basically. And it was such a good thing, but I don't have the letter anymore. Very sad. Anyway, I have few books from a TV show, an Italian TV show, where they used to invite guests like singer, actors, from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s to sing, to um, talk about old times. And these two books are about like memories by the public, and it was such a good show. I remember, especially the first years it aired, but then like moving forward it became kind of repetitive. But these were nice books about memories by like normal people, like to remember what it was being an Italian in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And it's very cool. I think it's very cool. So I'm keeping it. I have a biography, Memorie di Adriano. It's written by Bruno Perrini, and it's about the super famous singer Adriano Celentano. My grandmother used to love him. Like just before she passed away, I bought a few vinyl records. Vinyl? How do you pronounce that? Because I always thought it was like vinyl, but maybe it's vinyl records. Well, I bought her few by him because I was like building a collection. I'm still building a collection, but I used to build a collection for her too because I love records. I really love them, and so she was a huge fan. I remember one time she was like, "Well, I asked Alexa to play his music, but I don't think she understood because I used to have Spotify Premium, and now I don't have it anymore because what the hell is happening to Spotify anyway?" And I connected to Alexa so my grandmother could listen to her favorite music. That was great. That was great to have a full playlist, a big, huge playlist that is called Nonna, which means grandmother in Italian, and with the music that she used to like. And that was great. Sometimes she used to like listen to it at a absurd volume, okay, just to piss off a few neighbors that weren't very nice to her. My grandmother was petty, but I think I am, no, well, I'm still petty. Then I bought her recently, just like not even a month before she passed away, a book about a town she has lived in. She spent her childhood in, which is Poggiorusco in Mantua. Um, so she didn't even got the time to read this book, sadly. But I will keep it, absolutely. It's about also my family history, so very important. The last one is still about is written by famous writer and journalist, which is Roberto Saviano. The title of this book is Vieni via con me. This is a collection of speeches that he prepared about some very bad things that happened in Italy for this TV show that was called Vieni via con me, which means come away with me. And I've read it, not completely, not all the speeches, because I also watched the TV show. Um, and I'm keeping this, especially because, first of all, I love the way Roberto Saviano tells stories, but also the story of the earthquake in L'Aquila, which happened in 2009 when I was younger, uh, left me completely speechless because, in case you don't know it, the basically the palace where student of the university used to live crumbled down. So many students sadly passed away. Some risked their life in order to save their colleagues. And that was such an impressive story to me, because I was like, this, like, this could have happened to me. This could have happened to, like, my friends. This could happen in the future. In 2012, I was, I wouldn't call myself a victim, but I was like, um, one of those who stayed with no house for months because of an earthquake. Although my house was okay, like, we only had to make some fixes, basically, not big stuff, but like it took us years to have our house back, basically. But for 6 months we had like nothing but a tent. So that happened to me somehow, but at least everything I had that I could like rescue somehow, I still got some of these things. I was very lucky, and the luckiest thing that happened to me in that occasion was that everyone that I loved was alive and well and safe. And this is not something that I could take for granted anymore. I've had nightmares for years about earthquake. I still have them sometimes. So that story from the earthquake of 2009 really hit me harshly, and is still with me, also as a survivor somehow of a big earthquake. So these were the books I'm going to keep. It was a long guess video. I apologize, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you have good rates. We'll see each other as soon as possible, but I can't tell you how soon it will be. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.